Research from the Office of the United States Surgeon General found that over 84% of office workers reported at least one workplace factor negatively impacted their mental health. These factors included emotionally draining work, difficulty balancing work and life demands, as well as lack of recognition in the workplace. But your workplace doesn't have to suck. Dr. Marthy shared a workplace mental health and wellness framework for organizations to develop policies and practices that support worker mental health and wellness. This is a science-based, top-down approach for organizations, but what can you do as an individual worker to apply this framework to your workplace mental health and well-being? In this video, I'm going to review the basics of the Surgeon General's 5-part framework. And I'm going to pick out specific things that you can do as an employee working for an organization who may or may not be on board with this framework. These individual strategies are evidence-based techniques to improve your mental health and wellness and could set a good example for others, maybe even organizational leaders, to promote organizational change. Let's start with this situation. The Surgeon General's framework for workplace mental health and well-being is a comprehensive guideline that emphasizes the connection between the well-being of the worker and the overall health of an organization. The mental health and wellness framework consists of 5 essentials, pictured here with 5 different colors. And each essential is grounded in 2 human needs. The first essential is the protection from harm, which focuses on the human need for safety and security. This means physical safety, like freedom from workplace violence, harassment, and discrimination, as well as psychological safety, where individuals feel safe and comfortable expressing themselves without the fear of negative consequences. Part of that psychological safety is an openness to expressing when you have mental health or wellness needs. I was shocked by a recent study from the American Psychological Association that said that nearly 2 in 5 workers reported that health and safety concerns negatively impacted their stress levels at work. But I was happy to see suggestions related to 2 things that you can do to increase your health and safety at work. Lack of sleep or poor quality sleep can affect both the mental and physical health of workers. One meta-analysis found that workers who didn't get enough sleep were 62% more likely to have a workplace injury compared to workers who are well-rested. Well-rested workers are also less likely to make mistakes, which could contribute to lower injuries, as well as increased efficiency at work. Long work hours have been shown to increase the risk for exhaustion, anxiety, and depression. If you're tired, you're also less productive, so no one is winning from having extra long hours or tons of overtime. The second thing you can do, know your mental health options and be open with your mental health and wellness needs. This framework encourages organizations to do a better job with advertising treatment options. As an employee, take some time this week to explore what, if any, mental health benefits are available to you. This may include medical coverage for you to seek treatment outside of your company, or it may involve utilizing an employee assistance program within your company. Know your resources and verbalize your needs. Most of us wouldn't be afraid to tell our employer that we injured our knee and need to see a specialist. Don't be afraid to speak out about your mental health needs. It may even inspire other people to do the same. The next essential in this framework is connection and community. This workplace essential supports the human needs of social support and basic belonging. Humans are hardwired to crave social connection. Having relationships and social support networks can offer emotional support, informational support, and advice. Even having someone to keep you company at work sometimes can help fight those feelings of loneliness or isolation. Organizations are encouraged to cultivate trusted relationships between leaderships and peer-to-peer teams, as well as fostering an environment for collaboration and trust. But what can we do as individuals? Okay, take it from me, you need a friend. At least one friend can make all the difference in your workplace. Of course, it's nice and preferable for you to have a robust social support network outside of work. But when I call my brother to explain about my latest struggle with my TPS report, it's just not the same as having the context-rich discussion I can have with Todd, who's filled out 15 TPS reports last quarter. Or when you want to celebrate getting the triple gold star of excellence, it's nice to discuss that achievement with someone who already knows what a big deal it is. My favorite essential in this framework is work-life harmony. I especially like the phrase used here because it reflects that for many of us, there's not an actual balance between what we do at work or at home, but it's more about finding that harmony between our roles that's essential for your well-being. Organizations can encourage work-life harmony by allowing workers to decide how, when, and where they'll accomplish their tasks. Supporting this flexibility and autonomy helps to prevent burnout and supports employee mental health. Workers in these types of environments are more likely to succeed and more likely to stay with the company for longer. The big take-home message here is that we take home what we're doing at work and we take to work what's going on at home. So the solution here might seem a little contradictory. It's really about finding that harmony, ensuring that you're accomplishing what you need to do at work and what you need to do at home, and that those two things aren't interfering with each other. From an employee perspective, it might be beneficial for you to have some specific discussions with your organization. First, you want to try to establish a predictable schedule. Setting a start and end time to your day is an excellent start. If you're an hourly worker, establishing a minimum and maximum number of hours is also a good place to start. This level of predictability allows you to plan and schedule for things outside of work, such as doctor's appointments or making time for your interpersonal relationships outside of work. On the hourly side, it also provides you with some financial predictability, which can decrease financial stressors. As an employee, you can also work with your organization to develop a clear scope of work. This involves setting up a meeting or exchanging a few emails to clearly define what is and is not part of your job. This would ideally be done when you first get a job, but for many of us that have been in organization for long periods of time, over time you might find that there is some job creep or a slow expansion of duties beyond what your originally agreed upon scope of work. This can lead to problems with effectively executing on all of your work demands. That can mess with your sense of accomplishment, which we'll touch on later in this video. If you're trying to protect your mental health and well-being, establishing good work and life boundaries is essential. Workers reported a greater sense of well-being in organizations who set, respect, and model clear boundaries between time on and off the job. These boundaries support a basic human need to reset and recharge rather than constantly being on call. In a recent study of university faculty, employees who were expected to address and respond to messages after work reported higher levels of psychological distress and emotional exhaustion, including things like headaches and back pain, when compared to those who worked with supervisors who did not have those expectations. If your company lacks a policy that limits digital communication outside of work hours, work to set your own digital boundaries by not having your work email connected to your personal devices. Establish specific offline hours where you will not respond to text or emails related to work. I hope you're getting value from this video, and if we haven't met yet, hi, my name is Jay. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist who's worked as a behavioral scientist over the past 10 years. If you're into science-based life design and ways to optimize joy and well-being in your life, I'd love it if you'd tap on that subscribe button. Just tap it very gently. And while you're down there, check out the link to the Surgeon General's full report on office mental health and wellness. The next essential for mental health and wellness in the workplace is mattering. This is a sense of being respected or valued at work, as well as having dignity in the workplace. Overall, this is about having a broader sense of purpose or significance and feeling like you matter at work. Studies have shown that having meaning or purpose reduces the risk for health complications such as heart attacks. When you feel a connection to the work that you're doing, you'll find that you'll be more productive and creative there. Here are 2 things that you can do if your organization isn't actively working on making sure that everyone matters. First, find a way to connect with the larger mission of the organization. Know that you do have meaning and purpose. The fact that someone is paying you to do the job that you're doing says that this matters to someone somewhere. Taking someone's order at a fast food restaurant gives clients a human connection and allows them to easily customize their order so that they can get exactly what they want. You're bringing joy to people and value to the organization. If you're a teacher, you're educating the citizens of tomorrow. And if you're my video editor, you're supporting my dreams. So thank you. Shared purpose, or a shared sense that you're all working toward the same goal, supports the development of meaning to work. It generates pride and fuels motivation while also reducing stress. If it isn't clear how you or your team are directly contributing to your organizational goals, seeking out that information can help provide you with a sense of purpose and meaning in your job. It's also nice to have formal recognition of your accomplishments at work. When people feel appreciated and recognized by their supervisors and coworkers, their sense of value and meaning increases, as well as their capacity to manage stress. But one of the things that I do to ensure that I remind myself of what a good job I'm doing is by adding an additional file to my email inbox. I label this file, "I am awesome." Every time I get positive feedback from a client, an organization, a boss, or coworker, I drop that email into this file. I review this file as part of my quarterly review and mental reset routine. This gives me a chance to pause, and it also gives me an opportunity for me to recognize my own work accomplishments. The 5th essential of the Surgeon General's framework for mental health and well-being is opportunities for growth. His office encourages organizations to provide professional development opportunities and avenues for growth. This can further employees' sense of purpose and fulfillment in the workplace. A recent study of executives at 129 U.S. companies found that only 59% of companies surveyed prioritized worker learning and growth opportunities over the past 3 years. If you are in one of these workplace environments where growth and learning opportunities aren't really being nurtured, here are 2 strategies to support your growth and learning. First, learn more of your specific job skills during work hours. Ask questions of the people that you work with or people in leadership positions. Constantly seek to level up your craft by leveraging the knowledge of those around you. Learning is a process, and the result of that learning is greater accomplishments at work. When you accomplish more, you have a greater sense of competence, and that greater sense of competence or mastery reduces stress, anxiety, and self-doubt. You can take this even further by seeking out a mentor who can speak to you about knowledge relevant to your organization, your profession as a whole, or even your personal professional goals outside of your current job. If you do plan on staying with your organization, it might be helpful for you to understand the path to career advancement. Part of workplace wellness is preventing feelings of frustration that can come from workplace stagnation or feeling in a position where you feel ineffective, or conversely, a position where you're not being challenged enough. One of the ways that you can start to understand the specific path to advancement in your organization is to request regular feedback sessions with your leadership. This creates an opportunity for 2-way feedback. Clear and specific feedback to your boss can help to solidify all of the personal and professional boundaries that we've talked about today, and it allows you to get clear feedback from your leadership on how you're performing. This is a great opportunity to open up a conversation about career advancement. The spirit of the Surgeon General's recommendations was to promote organizational rather than individual changes. But frankly, many of us are in positions in the workplace where the organization has an outsized power or influence on how we spend our waking hours. Even as a psychologist, my mental health and well being is greatly influenced by the organizations I work with. That was exactly what happened to me a few weeks ago when I was denied a transfer by my organization. Check out this video if you want to see how I dealt with the depressed mood that followed, and leave a comment in the comments section below with your best workplace wellness tips.